Yo, Charles, how you feeling, baby?
Hey, GMike, how's it going, brother?
Going good, man. I had some technical difficulties, but but we ready, baby. We on it popping, baby. We on it
Yeah.
popping.
Show goes on.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of NFL stuff, college football this Saturday starting up. I mean, we had a game last week, but this weekend is the real pop off. We got some news, surrounding the sports world. Ready to get into that, guys. Before we get into that, though, welcome to another episode of the G Perspective. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys can please like, subscribe, and share the family, your friends, your neighbors, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your strangers, whoever you see walking on the street, it would be greatly appreciated. Great get you on the show for every single week, popping off on YouTube, all podcast platforms. So if you're able to tune in, man, it'll be greatly appreciated. But Charles, wanted to get into this Cincinnati Bengals news, man, because you're a big time Bengals fan, and finally your boy Trey Hendrickson finally got some money up in his pocket. A lot of people are like on both sides of this situation. So what really happened was the star pass rusher got a $14 million raise for this season, for the 2025 season, and nothing else. He will still become an unrestricted free agent next summer, but he is going to play the 2025 season with $30 million in his pocket, and he has an incentive that if he plays 60% of the plays for the Bengals and they make the playoffs, he will get an additional $1 million. With that being said, please let these people know what you think about this situation in your team, man, because some people on the negative side and some people on the positive side.
I mean, I think it's a win-win for both people, both sides there. Obviously, if you're a Bengals fan and you're plugged in with the Bengals, you know the defense is atrocious. And I'm not going to say it's only getting worse, but we are going younger. So we'll have to see what that is. Secondary, almost all first, second year type players now. It's going to be interesting to see the kind of impact we're going to have defensively outside of Hendrickson. Now, obviously, with Hendrickson, led the league in sacks, great player to have. He's worth the money. Sixth highest played pass rusher now with that raise. So even then, that's kind of I wouldn't say a bargain because it's not as though that's not that much money. However, for him to be sixth after ranking first in sacks for 2 years, I can understand why that seems like a bargain. Like you said, also still unrestricted free agent going into next year. So it's not as though this is, the end all be all. This process as a whole could very well go on again next year. But it's more likely that knowing the Bengals, how they're traditionally pretty cheap, he'll likely be gone. And that, lump sum that we would have paid him will probably go spread the wealth on the defensive end overall in general. So I'm good with it. I'm glad to get all the drama out of the way. Higgins is paid. Chase is paid. Hendrickson is paid for now. Burrow's paid. We're in a good place in that sense. A lot of money on the offensive side. But either way, no more drama. Everybody looked good in the preseason. We're ready to go. Jamar Chase, preseason player, offensive player award for preseason. As stupid as that is, whatever. Could have looked worse. But,
Very dumb.
Well, very dumb. But either way, he is, and we are. So ready to go. Week 1, Cleveland against Flacco. Should be good. Overall, I'm good with the deal. I don't have any issues with it from the team perspective, as a player perspective. Obviously there's no security, but at the same time, he got a lot of money for this year. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, for me, and you just said it right there, man. For me, the problem is the security, because it's dope that he finally got his money. I mean, we've talked about it in a few episodes of how he hasn't gotten paid yet by the Bengals. He's led he was the leading sack leader for the last 2 years for the NFL. And it's just like, when a player does that, you would think a team is going to be like, yo, we got you. You're showing your worth. We're going to get you this money. We're going to get you this fat contract. We're going to give you the security blanket. And it hasn't really come into fruition for him. So this season, a lot of people would say that he finessed the Bengals to get a $14 million raise for one season. Yeah, if you look at it like that, yeah, for sure. But he hasn't gotten any years on an extension contract on that. And what that could do, they're gonna expect him to do the same thing again this season. And I'm pretty sure he will. He's a great player. He's smart. He's fast. He's physical. He will be that star defensive end that they need him to be once again. The thing is, though, if he gets injured, now he doesn't have any years on the contract. Now he can, it could be detrimental to him coming for the rest of the season or on to next season or the years to come. Because it, what if he doesn't play the same? What if he's not the same person when he comes back from an injury? I pray to God that doesn't happen, that he doesn't get injured. I hope he's full on healthy for the rest of the season. And, that's all good with him. But if it does happen, there's always a possibility of that. Just like with car accidents. You don't think that you're ever going to get in a car accident. But when you do, you're you're glad that you have insurance. And that's the thing with a contract, bro. It's the insurance behind it. 2, 3, 4 years down the road, guaranteed money. If you get injured, you're still getting that money in the pocket. So it's dope that he got a $14 million raise, 100%, man. But to me, man, I need those years behind it. I need that guarantee money behind it. Because then when it comes next season, they're gonna be like, all right, prove your worth. Show us that you can do it again, and we're gonna give you this fat contract or whatever. What if they decide, yo, you know what? We don't really want to give you that contract. Sorry, go find it with someone else. It's either that or maybe he gets injured, but there's too many ifs for me. There's too many variables for me to just be happy with what he got in this particular instance. Obviously, $14 million is a lot. I'm not taking that away. That is freaking awesome. That is a great payday. Just the security blanket behind it, it's not there.
No, yeah, I agree. And I understand that perspective. Like I said, as a Bengals fan, I try to see both sides, both player and the team. Even if I'm unbiased in any other kind of way, I try to look that way. But I think realistically, yeah, he doesn't get the security blanket, but 15 mil as guaranteed money on top of what he's already been making from them can go a long way towards next year's deal, regardless of where he is, whether he's hurt or not. Uh, he is already not old, but an aging player. So realistically, you're paying up front for what you're going to get from him for last year and this year coming up. After this, there should be a steady decline in general sense of his age in that kind of position. But I don't blame the Bengals for going here. Like I said, they did offer a 2 or 3 year deal with not less guaranteed money, more guaranteed money, but not enough that he wanted in terms of that length of the deal. So it's not as if we didn't try. I get it. We spent the wealth out everywhere else, and we got to consider what else we got going on with many holes on the defense. So I'm fine with it for this season. I get your point as well. But being a Bengals fan, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, you guys are going to be good on the offensive end for sure. I feel like your running game is obsolete. Obviously, your receivers are incredible. Your quarterback is one of one. The only thing is the offensive line. You guys still need to improve on that, and that's probably not going to get done in the Joe
We try,
Burrow
man. We
era.
try.
No, he ain't trying. No, they ain't
Yeah,
trying
we
too
do.
hard.
Every year we drafted. I think for 3 years in a row, we drafted an offensive lineman in the first round, and all of them got hurt or came in out of shape. And they were all the guys to get at the time. Until Paneso, we skipped on for Jamar Chase, but that worked out. Uh, and then we even brought in, Orlando from freaking
Mhm.
Chiefs. That didn't work
Yep.
out so well yet. But I still think he's still a good player and all that. And he's a good locker
Mhm.
room presence. So more effort than people are letting on, but at the same time, the solution hasn't paid off.
Yeah, it hasn't. It hasn't. So yeah, I guess I'll agree with you there that you guys have been putting in the effort, right? But just overall on the offense, I think you guys are going to be good. You'll be like at least top 15 in the league when it comes to scoring, maybe even top 10. I would feel. Again, it just depends on the O line. But when it comes to the defense, man, you guys are in the bottom half of the league, bro. So with a player like Hendrickson, bro, that really can impact a defense with sacks, with tackles for loss, with QB pressures, like that's one person you should literally give the bag to. Like you really should.
Yeah.
And it's dope that they gave him the pay raise. Now let's see if the you guys keep him for the years to come.
Yeah, bad timing. Top five offense, bottom five defense, but everybody else got paid first. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another person that got paid, man, and on the other side, the NFC, one of my rivals, the Washington Commanders, gave a little contract extension to Terry McLaurin, 3 years, $96 million. Sheesh, we get a little payday right there. He ends his hold in, what we're calling it now. It ends his hold in and gets him in. They're trying to get him in uniform for the preseason opener against the Giants. He will receive a $30 million signing bonus in the deal. With this being said, man, what are your thoughts on this contract extension for Terry?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, another team that clearly can't use any drama right now. They've done a good job of retooling to try to like level up and make sure that last year wasn't real fluke or anything under Jaden Daniels in his first season. So you want to make sure that, especially with the NFC kind of tight, looking at Dallas being healthy, them coming back, Green Bay, Detroit, that's two divisional teams. One's going to be a wild card already. You don't want to push the envelope there and just assume you're going to make the playoffs again. So they're doing their part there. Now with him, that's another player that you're really paying based off what he's done so far. He's been an ideal teammate. He's done a great job being a veteran presence, even though he's not super old or anything. But at the same time, he's been productive throughout his entire tenure there. Never been a problem. I get it. And it seems, it's a lot of money, but it's only 3 years. On the back half of that, who knows how that'll happen if he were to get hurt or something. So I'm good with the deal. It's probably a little more money than I would have expected him to get, but at the same time, that's just the nature of the game nowadays. Just pay it, keep the vibes good, and move forward, especially in a division that's not winnable, because I'm not saying that they're just better than Philly or even just straight out better than Dallas.
Yeah.
But definitely, you're right there. You can make the playoffs, and you have a quarterback that can just work magic, kind of like the Bengals situation. So why not try?
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's finally, man. Like finally, I am surprised on the amount of money that they gave him because you don't really think that he's gonna get that much money. But it's well deserved money. Well deserved contract extension. I could put it. Because man, again, another what we're talking about security blanket, right? I think he was a perfect example of someone needing that security blanket because he's been with the organization since he's got drafted till up until last season. They had no success. And then last season they had great success, went to the NFC Championship game, obviously lost, didn't get to the Super Bowl, but it's still a great milestone, like 10-step jump that they had. And McLaurin, he is a focal point of that offense. He's been there from the ground to the top level of success, man. So I think it's very well deserving for him. You could tell that he brings a lot with his attitude, with his work ethic, to the culture, to the organization, to the success that they have on the field, man. And he did Jaden Daniels' rookie year job a lot more easier, than other receivers that would have done it. I think it's dope for him to get that money in the security blanket, man. Yes, I don't think that he should have got that much, but I do love the fact that they finally gave him the contract extension because there was talks about him getting traded and asking for a trade and all this stuff, and it's just like, man, he's one of the players on your squad that helped you get to this level of success or where you guys want to be, and you should pay him off.
Yeah, definitely agree because they're not a deep enough team to lose somebody like that for 3, 4 games on a sit in or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because very quickly you can look exposed and you can look like a team that really needed that person. Kind of like with the Bengals, the Jamar Chase thing. We couldn't really afford to play that game. So
Yeah, facts, facts. Man, NFL season kicks off next week, next Thursday. We got the Dallas Cowboys going to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk more about that next week, man. But I'm not really excited. Honestly,
ah,
I'm excited. I'm excited for football. I'm excited for
yeah,
football to start. But Cowboys,
yeah,
Eagles.
yeah, it's a rough
First
start.
game.
Rough start.
First game. eh, But what I am excited for is college football, baby. Last week, college football did start off. It was Kansas State against Iowa State, if
Iowa
I'm
State.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Iowa.
Iowa State.
Oh, they were the underdogs in that game. They upset, but only by a field goal. But it was a good game if you're able to watch it. It was a very good game back and forth. Um, But this weekend, man, the top dogs playing each other, going at it. We're going to talk about three games here. We're going to give our predictions and what we think is going to go on and what we feel like for these teams will go on for the rest of the season. But it's a great slate if you like college football from 12 p.m. to 7:30 or 8 p.m. that day. It's just games back to back to back to back that you want to watch. Um, First game I want to start off with talking about, man, which is the first game of that day. Texas at Ohio State, baby. Woo! Hey, number one seed going up against the number three seed, who are the reigning national champions. It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be a battle. I'm not gonna really say too much on it because I want to hear what you think this game is gonna have in for us.
I mean, this is probably not gonna make any Super Bowl statement, but this is might be one of the best college football opening weekends of all time. Mainly
Facts.
because it used to just be a glorified preseason game, right? Like you would get a bunch of lame first round games against Middle Tennessee State and things like
Bethune
that.
Cookman.
Yeah, exactly. Miami was between Cookman and stuff like that. It's just paying off other schools for their programs, right? For a free win. But now we're actually getting, real competition, which I think soon will take a slow step back now that you have a playoff and you don't have to be undefeated with a strength of schedule that's crazy. So teams might, take a little step back on that in a couple years. But for now, here we are. First time Texas has ever been ranked number one in an AP preseason poll. Now the eventual actual number one. Ohio State number three was two at preseason, but now they moved down to Penn State. But either way, like you said, last year's champion. I do think they'll win this game as well. Ohio State will. As much as I hate them, they are, besides Florida State, my least favorite team. But Arch Manning, he looks the part. Yeah, Arch Manning looks the part. He looks great. We've seen enough of him to say, like, okay, out of these quarterbacks that are young and being spoken about across the country, he is seemingly the best, and you've seen him do it. Whereas some of these other guys, like we're hearing a lot of things about, Club Nick, Nussmeyer, whatever, you haven't seen them really do anything yet. You haven't gotten that opportunity to scope them out against competition. So in that sense, he's the most proven young, upcoming Heisman number one odds kind of player that we've had in a while. I'm excited to see it. I do think he is all that. I do think Texas is, and also usually they only have one side of the ball. They'll have just the offense and not the defense, or vice versa. I do think they're kind of a complete package now. But at the same time, Ohio State, been there, done that. They just always seem to get it done. I'm going to lean with Ohio State, regardless of, the new quarterback situations and all that. But I'm hoping Texas pulls it off. It's just hard for me. When you hate a team, I know there's stats out there for it. But when you hate a team, it just feels like they always win when you don't. When you're really, really watching, when the world's watching, those teams shine. So I'm going to go Ohio State in this game.
Yeah, man. I mean, what I could really say about this game, man, I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated college football games. Week one, going up against the reigning champs, you got a QB who people think he's going to be a very high top future NFL draft pick either next season or the season after that, depending on what he thinks he's going to go in Arch Manning. It's going to be dope to see, a star-studded quarterback with his weapons going up against a star-studded defense. That's the type of games that you really want to see. Top defense going up against top offense. Obviously we don't know. We gotta see what it really comes to because it's just the start of the season. But man, people are gonna want to see Archie put on a show, man. One of the best defenses. They want to see if that defense can stop him from putting up a show. I think it's gonna be dope. Um, I believe that the way that Texas can win this game, though, is if they truly show that their defense is top in the nation, because they've been talking about how their defense has been so good last season and now coming into this season, rolling out. And we just got to see what's up. We got to see what's up, man. But if Texas defense can hold their own against a Ohio State offense that when you compare the offenses, I think Texas, hands down, I think we could both agree Texas offense is going to be better than Ohio State's. If Texas defense can't hold their own, I think they could win this game, man. And I think they could ruin a reigning champions opening day. But it's tough, man. It's tough because Ohio State, man, every single year they're always in it to win it, man. And they still have a superstar sensation in Jeremiah Smith. Is that his name? Correct? The receiver. Yes,
Yeah,
he is a dog. No, that guy is a wolf out there
yeah,
playing with freaking babies, bro. It's crazy, but I want to see Texas win. I'm with you on that. I want to see Manning do work. I want to see him get success early on. Um, just if their defense don't doesn't come to play and doesn't their secondary doesn't come to play against Jeremiah Smith, it's gonna be a long night for them. But I think it's a close game. Whichever team wins can be a field goal, and I'm gonna take Texas on this.
okay, yeah, yeah. I have no arguments again. And yours looked great with that same team last year, more or less. So I have no qualms against them being good overall. It's just a lot to expect from Arch right out the gate. They're going to game plan for it. They're going to do whatever they have to do to get the job
Exactly.
done. I think either team, regardless of how they look in this game, still long term will be a problem come playoff time. Uh, but beginning of the season, you can afford to take a loss. It's not like, before the playoff where you couldn't take any losses almost at all, unless you were Ohio State, and then you went perfect the rest of the season. So I'm just looking forward
Mm.
to it. I can't believe that's not the night game.
Yeah, right. Like that's what I was thinking too when I was putting the doc together. I'm like, why is Texas and Ohio State the first game? Like honestly, like to be real with you, I would have liked
The best
Notre Dame and
game.
Miami to be Notre Dame and Miami be the first game, or if not LSU Clemson, which is the next one we're going to talk
Yeah,
about. But
yeah, that's what
Texas
I have.
Ohio State, it should have been the prime time game. Like I don't understand why
I
they put it there.
heard I heard that they asked Texas about that for scheduling, and Texas didn't want the night game. I don't know what the situation was with that. And like you said, because if it's me, LSU is going first. Miami midday maybe, and then the night game for this. But Miami's actually Sunday. I don't know if you noticed that. It's a
Yeah,
Sunday night game.
Sunday night.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's just all over the place. But hey, I'm good with it. I'm still gonna watch all three of them, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Damn. Now thinking about it, I'm gonna be in Miami this weekend. What?
Hey, it's in Miami. You might have to might have
Hey,
to hit the game.
might have to go to the game. Maybe might have to go to the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
but I
man.
thought it was weird too. I was like, I don't know, maybe Texas employees, coaching staff, or players, maybe they got something important to do the next day, maybe all together. But yeah, I found that
Better
weird
be.
too.
It better
12
be
p.m. I'm
important.
like, say,
I
say again.
perfectly I said it better be important.
Yeah, no, it better be important because, damn, dog, I don't know. I guess what do you think? You think on a Saturday people watch more football at 12 p.m. or they watch it more at 7:30 p.m.
I
on a
think 12
Saturday?
p.m. I think the night game would probably have the potential for bigger numbers because you can include the West Coast and the East Coast. Both people are available.
Mhm.
Whereas in the morning, 9 a.m. I mean, I'll wake up and watch football, sure, but maybe the regular person won't roll out of bed and stay in the bed from 9 to 12. In the West Side.
Yeah,
I don't. Realistically, they might have things to do. So I think the availability factor does better at night. So they might have just thought, hey, this is a big enough game that we can get a little bit of people to stick around for at noon, and then the night game we're going to get our numbers regardless. So maybe it's a balance, but this is the better game.
yeah, bro. Damn, I can't wait, man. I mean, this weekend I'm not gonna be able to, but what I usually do, man, I'll wake up around what maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock latest, and start getting ready, boom, 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 go to the gym, have the game playing,
Yeah,
boom, the whole time I'm at the gym, bro. And hopefully by halftime I'm already done. But sometimes you even go longer. Sometimes you even stay to the whole game, and it's just awesome watching a college football game or even an NFL game, the first slate. While you're at the gym working out. I've always thought it was great, honestly.
yeah, it's a win-win, and you don't even realize that you're working out.
Facts. You're just going through the motions, really. Oh man, next game wanted to talk to you about that. This one is not that much anticipated, but they're two powerhouses for sure. LSU and Clemson. This game, I think it was at 3 p.m. If I did not see it correctly, you could correct me on that in the chat or wherever the frick you want, social media. But I think it was a 3 p.m. game. LSU versus Clemson. What's your prediction here?
So man, eh, I'm going to go LSU. I think Clemson is kind of trying to claw their way back into, not to use a stupid Tiger pun or anything, but claw their way back into high level elite relevancy. Kate Klubnik is going to be, I mean, Arch Manning, Klubnik, Nussmeier, those are the three quarterbacks that everyone's really watching. Got two of them playing against each other right out the gate in this game. Um, so at this point, Nussmeier, Klubnik, it's impossible to tell who's technically better. However, I do feel like LSU overall as a roster over the past few years, to me, has been more impressive than Clemson has. But at the same time, Clemson always does a pretty good job of recruiting, as does LSU. So it's going to be interesting because you have kind of almost not a clean slate, but a lot of fresh names to see for both of these teams, right? Now, Clemson has the easier advantage of going forward. Their schedule is going to be simpler. They're not going to have to worry as much as LSU is in terms of taking other losses. But that's neither here nor there. You're going to come into the game ready to go. It's week 1. You want to win anyway. I'm going to take Nussmeier and LSU for this game. Um, I just trust that program overall. I know they sometimes can have first week losses and things like that over the past 4 or 5 years. But either way, I'm going to stick with LSU.
Yeah, I'm gonna go LSU too, man. The only thing is with them, man, is their defense, right? And you saw it in 2020, 2023, going into 2024, they thought they were gonna have a more complete defense and all around defense that could stop teams like Texas, Ohio State, or the big dogs around the nation that could stop them from scoring so much, and they didn't really show that, and it was kind of like heartbreaking for them. But this year they're saying that they took it up another notch, and they think that they have a defense that can compete for a national championship. So if that's true, I will take LSU in this game because I think that their offense is better than Clemson's offense. But right now, I would think that Clemson's defense is better than LSU's defense. But again, if it's true that they improve so much on their defense, then I would say overall, and just like how you just said, their roster altogether is just better than Clemson's roster, and I would have to go LSU in this game. But I still believe that this game is going to be a close one too. I don't think it's just going to be a blowout from any side.
Yeah, me neither. And all the highlights can be on both quarterbacks. Like I said, both ranked top 3 for Heisman odds. I mean, I believe they're both top 3, and then 4th would be Jeremiah Smith. But either way, they're top 5, if not. So I'm just excited to see that, especially 2 fresh names that you got Arch already played at that point in the day, and then they come in, you get the next 2 big names. So right out the gates, top 3 quarterbacks in the country. Um, uh, uh, I mean, I guess as a Miami fan, I should just go for LSU, right? Take Clemson a loss and stuff like that. But I do want a good game, like you said. I just want it to be good. I want it to be entertaining. I want week 1 to be
Yeah.
what we're saying it's going to be. So I'll
Yeah,
take LSU. 4-point type game.
I think it is going to be like that. And before we move on the comments of them saying of LSU in particular, saying that the defense is going to be better this year than it was previous year and the year before that. Do you believe them in that sense that they're saying their defense is going to be better?
I do, because they tend to be a top 10, top 15 recruiting class, and they are very good at addressing their issues. They already had the quarterback situation solved, and they had a lot of guys on the line solved coming into the season. So I think the focus coming into this year would have been, recruiting wise from the end of last season to now, would have been defense. So I'm going to trust that they are a pretty good, stable team that recruits well, and that they would have identified that early and then addressed it through the needs of the entire offseason, rather than trying to figure out what you need and kind of patchwork it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence, man. I'm on the fence about it because last season they said the same thing and they came back. They didn't have any promise. They didn't show any promise, and like I can't, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like if you, you can't get fooled again, like J. Cole says, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, you need to come out there and show us what you really got. And this is a great opportunity right here, going up against a I would say top 10, top 15 offense in Clemson, around the nation. So if you be able to stop them from scoring 21, let's say 28, I guess, but I want to say 21 is like where you really show that you're a good defense. Then we could talk about it and see where the season is going to pan out from here and there. But for now, man, to me, it's all talk. To me, it's all talk.
Yeah, I can't knock it. All pressure on the QBs.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last game, Sunday night, 7:30, baby. We got you Miami Hurricane, baby, hosting a Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Oh man, that takes me back to the doc that they made about
Yeah, Catholics.
Catholics versus convicts.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, we're hosting. We got the home game on this one. It's gonna be our Carson Beck's opening game for the Miami Hurricanes. There's a lot of stuff going with Carson Beck and Miami's offense and Notre Dame's defense and all that. But I want to hear from you what you think is gonna happen.
Do you like Carson Beck, by the way?
I do. I do. I'm not gonna say that, and I was gonna bring this up later, like with the whole comparison to Cam Ward and all that stuff. I don't think it's really fair to really compare them. I think they're like two different dynamic quarterbacks. But I do. I think he's tough. I think he's smart. I think he knows how to read the defense well, especially the secondary. He's just got to show the clutch gene. He's got to show that he can be under poise as well, because Cam Ward was great at that, being under poise. And I think he could lead UM's offense, man. I think he could get them to wins.
Yeah, because you don't have any more of those like bitter and receiver types like Restrepo there anymore to kind of bail you out. And like you said, Cam Ward can move out of the pocket. He can run. He can extend the play. So if the offense doesn't show up as a whole, whether it's the offensive line or if it's just not having a good game in terms of how the defense is specking us, Cam Ward can make something happen, right?
Yeah.
Restrepo can make something happen. We don't really have that anymore. And this guy, Beck, is just a pocket guy. Now, Georgia, you have the benefit of having played every great team there is because your schedule's so tough. But at the same time, he is turnover prone. He throws a lot of random interceptions. So I'm glad to have him, not based on me just thinking he's just so amazing. But realistically, before Cam Ward, what were we doing QB wise? Nothing for years and years and
Nothing.
years and years. Nothing. All we had was
Nothing.
a lot of false promises. Every single player that was going to be
Great
great.
running backs, great
Yeah, great running back.
receivers.
Yeah, great receivers, great defensive players. One at a time, maybe not a whole collection of them, since
individuals.
yeah. But quarterback wise, we never do anything. So
No.
even the guys I liked over the years, I knew I liked them as a fan, and I knew they were salvageable for our team. But realistically, in the big you know ranking kind of setting, we've never had any great quarterbacks in the past 15, 20 years. So I will take this for what it is. I'm not going to compare him to Cam Ward. I'm just going to compare him to recent history. And I don't even know. I think Notre Dame is probably still going to start CJ Carr. I haven't checked to see if that's going to be the case, but a lot of people high on him. But again, nothing to go off, no tape to look at. But I guess we'll see. Last time they played in Miami, I went down there. We dominated them. Whole different story. So I'll try to compare them to now. But if we can get the win in any sense, I don't care what it is, just any kind of win. I think schedule-wise, we're set up pretty nicely if we can escape with this. But I just don't want to look like a duck week one,
Yeah, same. And Notre Dame, they got a defense, man. They got a
Yeah,
they got a defense
they just came out of the championship game. They lost, but you know,
because they had no offense compared to Ohio State. I mean, like, let's be real. Yeah, they had a run game, and the QB was doing everything. He was running the ball, he was throwing the ball, but they really didn't have receivers like that. They were living off their defense, right? But Ohio State, they had defense and offense, man. And it's like when you're playing against a team that star-studded on both sides, against a team that is only on one side of the ball. I mean, I would say like 90% of that chance is going to go towards the team that star-studded on both sides. But against us, man, dude, I was going to ask you, like, what do you think going into this season about our defense? Because our defense last year was atrocious. It's like after week 4, week 5 was atrocious. So Cam Ward and the offense, they had to really make some magic to get some wins under the belt of Miami Hurricanes organization. But if it wasn't for him and the offense, man, we probably would have only won like 3-4 games.
yeah, we're very. I said it all last year. Like my Saturdays look just like my Sundays. As a Cranes fan and a Bengals fan, it was Burrow, it was Ward, it was nothing else. No defense, no help. And I'm not saying obviously Chase and other players, but it was the offensive or it was nothing else. And again, this is kind of where I feel like you feel about LSU, right? Oh, we knew about the defense 2 years ago, so we addressed some stuff. Did you? Because our linebackers were getting cooked. Now, granted, in terms of pass rushing and helping in the box, they looked okay. But in terms of preventing passes and all these easy, we were just getting cooked. Turnover chain, retired, right? And then this year, again, we said, oh, no, we addressed that. We had a good draft class. Mario Cristobal, blah, blah, blah. He's slowly building it the right way, which I agree if you compare it to the previous years. But now we're a team with expectations. Number 10 coming in, an opportunity to finally show that we can be something. We're not skirting the 25 line. We don't have a rookie quarterback that can run but not throw. We have actual expectations at this point in terms of how the ACC is going to look. So I want to say that it has to be better than it was last year, right? Kind of like the Cincinnati thing. But realistically, it could be more the same. I will say, though, that we'll probably be playing at a slower pace offensively than we are used to in the past few years. So maybe the dynamic of the stats defensively will come down a touch because of the fact that there's less possessions and stuff like that. But like you said, we hear this all the time from Miami defense. Miami defense is going to be great. Miami defense is going to be great. Meanwhile, I'm watching games and we're giving up 40 points every single game. So, sure, I think it'll be a step better. Do I think it'll be great? No, I don't have enough hope for that built in me at this point. I've been beaten up too much.
Yeah, dude, I wish I had more hope for the defense, man. But it's just I feel like we went from, okay, we're going to have great defenses and great skill players, but we're not going to have quarterbacks, to, okay, now we're going to have good quarterbacks, but now we're going to have sucky defenses. Sorry, we can't have best of both worlds. And it's how do you expect to make it to the college football playoffs? How do you expect to get all the way to the national championship game? How do you expect to create basically a dynasty like these other colleges, Alabama, Ohio State, Auburn? The list goes on and on. We got to be in the same realm as them. And the only way for that to happen is to have great defenses and great offenses together. Because it's not like the NFL where you can lose, all right, we can lose 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 games, and we can still make the playoffs. Nah, we lose 2 games. That's it. We're cooked. We're out of there.
Yeah,
and
especially
it's
in the ACC. Yeah, no bragging rights there.
Exactly. Especially in the ACC. This ain't SEC.
We didn't make it last year. We didn't make it last year with as great as we played. They kept us out.
Yeah, hopefully the defense does come to play, man. Hopefully we have a better defense, and hopefully Carson Beck shows us that he can. If he's gonna be a pocket passer, all right, cool, whatever. Tom Brady was a pocket passer, I'll take it. But the thing is, though, you gotta show the poise, because you could throw the rock, you can make good decisions. We've seen it happen. You're tough. You'll take hits. You'll get back up. But when it comes down to close games, and if we're having a defense like we most likely will, it's going to be a lot of close games. How are you going to show yourself in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter when we have the ball and we're down a touchdown? Are you going to come down and drill it, or you're going to be like, damn, you know what? I'm going to just lay down here and cuddle.
I mean, he's proven he can do it. He's also proven he gets those 3 interceptions in a game. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm with him. I'm good with it. I'm willing to be a little patient. Tough way to start the season, blah, blah, blah. But it is what it is. This is where we're at, and this is the level we want to. Like you said, you want to be Bama, you want to be LSU, you want to be Clemson. You got to get it done sometime. And every year, we're top 10 in recruiting class and starting to creep up. We're doing better and better. So there's signs showing that we're ready to jump. But you can be as close to the edge of the cliff that you want to be. But till you jump, you can't fly. So let's just hope that for the first time in a long time, our team, not just Cam Ward, will step up.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, man, football is back, baby.
Football, hell yeah, I know.
Dude, great slate Saturday. Sunday, there's another slate as well, because the NFL season doesn't start till next week. So the college will be taking over Sunday as well. Next week, start of NFL, Dallas going to Philly. And then that first week, who do you guys play first week? The Browns?
We play Cleveland, yeah. Cleveland.
Okay, so I think you guys will take that game. But I think a lot of just like what college is doing with their league, they're putting a lot of great games in the first week. I feel like the NFL is doing that as well too. Like, not just like, oh, obviously every team in the NFL. It's hard to play against, and like there's no easy wins. But I think they're putting a lot of rivals, divisional rivals, or if not rivals, like in the playoffs or rivals in the Super Bowl.
Steelers. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
Steelers and Robbers. Yeah.
exactly. Like stories to be seen and heard and stuff like that, which is dope. It's dope to see, like just like how the NBA they do it. The first two games on the first night is always like two star-studded games on each side of the court. So it's dope. It's dope. But yeah, man, a lot of football coming, baby. It's awesome, bro. But we're gonna end it here. Charles, I appreciate you to keep coming on, man, and showing the support and giving us this content, man. But let these people know where they can view your content, my brother.
Hey, like I said, at CL Kid, that's my artist name, but all my websites, all my things, real CL Kid. So if you're on the gram, or on YouTube, my website, in Facebook, Twitter, it doesn't matter. At real CL Kid, check me out. Music, podcast, sports. All this time with GMike. Always great stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, you know where to follow me on X at George Mike Perez, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at GMike Media _. The audio version of this podcast is available on all podcast platforms and the video version on YouTube. And if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips daily to get you anywhere up to $10 to $50 to $100 of winnings a day. We have an affiliate program as well where you can make some extra money on that. You'll see the link pop up on your screen, or if not, you'll see my socials. Just slide in one of my DMs. We'll start a conversation to see how to get you on and started. CL, I appreciate you, man. I cannot ball tomorrow, but Thursday, either ball or golf if it don't rain.
Yeah, if it don't rain.
If it don't rain, man, it be raining like crazy lately.
Every day.
But I appreciate it, bro.
Always.